Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Sorta Sophisticated, the podcast where we take this universe of random facts clogging up the internet and turn them into something you can casually drop into conversations to sound smarter than you really are, people. I'm Pete, drinking a little too much as per usual, and joining me, as always, is my co-host, Amanda, who likes to think she keeps me in check.
Likes to think? I absolutely keep you in check. It's literally the hardest part of the job.
Whatevs, dude. Anyway, my job, if I'm doing it right, is to try to keep things fun, yet weirdly informative, and just snarky enough to keep you awake. Speaking of which, Amanda, did you make it to midnight on New Year's?
Of course I did. Did you, old man?
Totally. I had my friends over. We partied. As always, thank you very much.
Not gonna lie, kind of surprised
What?
that you just like pass out.
Okay, first of
You're
all,
usually asleep by 9.
this is totally not true. My friends from Pittsburgh come over all the time, every year. We stay up even later than our kids do.
True
Okay.
or not true? Are you usually asleep by 9 p.m.?
Like in general?
Yes.
No.
What time do you go to sleep?
10:30.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
What time do you go to sleep?
I
3
gave
in the
you-
morning?
Yeah.
Never. Sometimes I just don't sleep for days on end.
Basically.
We know. Okay, but we did this super awesome thing this year. Well, Gabby started this whole theme thing. Like each year was a theme. Like we'd have like a poker night, or then we would have like a trivia night, or then we would do like whatever, like game night.
Yeah,
right?
that's fun.
So this year, I did like music through the decades. So like for like the first hour, it was like all 50s music. And then like the second hour was all 60s music, like all the way up through till midnight. And from midnight to 1 o'clock, it was like today's hits.
Oh,
So we
that's
did
fun.
like 8 hours of like different kinds of music, which I think was fabulous.
I'm going to have to steal that. And I also think that's a perfect segue for today's episode. Because today, as you know, we're talking about the cultural icon, Elvis Presley. I mean, this guy wasn't just the king of rock and roll. He was like the OG blueprint for a superstar.
Oh my God, that's right. Because today would have marked his 90th birthday, January 8th. Is that Capricorn?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay.
You got to love Capricorns. Do you know?
Why?
Are you a zodiac person at all?
I'm just a Leo. That's all I know.
So how are we both Leos and we didn't even know this? Are we dumb? Okay.
It's shocking we get along.
Yeah, it totally is. Maybe it's a girl guy thing. I don't know. I'm going to look this up.
Okay.
Okay. Capricorns though, right? They're always like the out to prove people wrong. Like it's like total Elvis, total Cap. That makes all the sense in the world. And I kind of like the whole idea of kicking off 25 with an episode on music, because you know me and music. I could pretty much talk about music.
You really could. Please don't.
Yes.
And we only have 30 minutes.
But we're good news.
So give our listeners the Elvis gist and how he redefined the whole idea of celebrity. I got to cut it short here.
Okay, relax. Did you say redefine? He didn't redefine anything. He defined. No just defined. Seriously. He had the dance moves. He had the hips. Oh, we should be on YouTube right now because I could do the hips. I could do the... Okay, sorry. What? The big hair, like, he had like the sideburns, the lips, drove everybody crazy. He was the man. We're going to break all this down for you because he was the shiat for sure. Did you know he even invented the peanut butter and banana sandwich?
Yeah. It's called the Elvis, right?
I grew up on that.
Did you really?
My mom loved him so. Oh, absolutely. And then we did like the peanut butter and banana and bacon. Yes. Like my kids eat these sandwiches because my mom was an Elvis fan, and then I had that.
I mean, it's quite delicious, so I don't blame them for that. I also love how excited you are about this
I am
episode
totally.
and about Elvis. Did you see the movie?
No, I did not yet.
Oh.
I know it is one. It's like I have a list on my phone of all the movies I have to see. That's like on the top. I have to get to it. I'll do it this year.
Oh, very tragic.
Yeah.
Okay, but totally though. Getting back on
Right.
track.
Get on track. Let's go.
I mean, I feel like Elvis is the perfect mix of sophistication and absurdity. So
Oh,
kind of like
totally
your
is.
sweet spot here, right?
I love it.
And why don't you go ahead and kick us off then by telling us why learning about Elvis makes us more cultured and curious?
I always appreciate that prompt. You know, it's a really good way to start.
I
Thank
think
you.
it keeps us focused and
Really?
on track.
It does. You're not going to believe this. I actually have an answer, like for once in my life.
You always have an answer, but let's hear it.
But half the time I'm making it up. But this one I didn't make up.
It's for
I
real.
looked up.
For real.
Right. So learning about Elvis helps us understand how one man not only revolutionized music, but fashion as well.
Did he have like a stylist?
Do you remember those iconic jumpsuits? Yes, he totally did. We're going to talk about a stylist.
Okay.
Yeah. And just like the whole idea of celebrity status in the first place, it's like history, art, and pop culture all got like jammed in a box, and like that. There you have Elvis.
But was
just
he
shot out the
really
other
the
side.
first celebrity?
He wasn't the first, but he was like, because he did so many things, like he was like the super celeb.
It's why he became such a big deal in pop culture.
He was the SS,
Mm.
for sure.
And so then do you like listen to him on your playlist all the time?
If you're gonna call me old all the time, I'll say no. But
I don't know. I feel like he's like timeless.
okay, thank God. So then the answer is yes. He is totally on my Sunday morning playlist, oddly enough, because like I'll be like making pancakes or something for the kids, like every once in a while, get in the mood. I don't know, once a month, maybe. And then like my kids come downstairs and they're like, "Oh my God, Dad, Elvis again, really?" But it's totally the vibe because I love it. But then they make me change it to, oh my God, what Easy by Lionel Richie, the Commodores.
Oh,
Easy
yeah.
like Sunday morning. Yeah, totally. I'm looking at that like huge parenting win because my kids are totally learning about Elvis. So there.
And Lionel Richie. Good job. Listen, your kids are now learning so much about Elvis and Lionel Richie. How about we learn a new word of the day?
Oh, yeah. Good call. Okay. So the word of the day today is fulgent.
It sounds a little bougie. What does it mean?
Fulgent means like something that's really bright, like bright.
Like all the Christmas lights are fulgent?
Like, yes, like dazzling, like radiant, like the sun has fulgent light. Or like you just said, what is it? Christmas lights are
Christmas
fulgent?
light.
Christmas lights are totally fulgent. And, oh my God.
Especially the new LED one.
I didn't tell you this. I was at your house the other day, and I think you did an excellent job with your Christmas light. They looked really good. So, best on the block. Super well done. Very proud of the Houston house.
Yeah, we did our best. So, time to talk about Elvis. I'll do the early days because that's my favorite part of the whole thing.
Right.
And then not always. I usually do the end. I never do the history.
Well, it's like
get it straight.
Okay, but you like the baby parts, and then you like, you're the concluder, you're the wrap it up, you're the sum it up.
We can skip the middle.
Right. Seriously, if it was up to you, we do baby.
It's like how you get a book and you read the beginning and then you read the end.
Yeah, okay.
And you skip the middle.
Wow, we're learning so much about you today. Mm-hmm. Okay, go for it.
All right, so baby Elvis Presley, our future king of rock and roll, was born in some place called Tupelo.
Tupelo.
You
nailed it.
Mm-hmm. Mississippi on January 8th, 1935.
Yes, totally. MISSISSIPPI. I love that. I have a question already.
Uh-huh.
Sideburns? Did he come out with sideburns?
No.
Like, did his mom have heartburn because he shot out the VJJ with sideburns already?
No, but fun fact.
What?
Did you know he was a twin?
Say what?
Yeah, so there's two of them that shot out.
There was two Elvises?
Yep.
Let's go. I need to hear this.
He had a twin brother named Jesse Garin Presley, but he was a stillborn. So, sad day.
That is sad.
It is sad. And so instead of living in his brother's shadow, he decided to go be some one-of-a-kind cultural phenomenon instead.
Dude, talk about grand entrance. I mean, this guy pops out with sideburns and probably holding a guitar, and then he goes and eats his brother. It's a total animal.
Stop it. That's not what happened. It was probably really sad if you think about it. First of all, it was basically still the Great Depression, or at least right at the end of it. And everyone was still poor, and we hadn't even entered the war yet. People were scared, and then they live in this little 2-room farmhouse somewhere in Podunk, Mississippi, which, by the way, Elvis's dad and uncle built with their own 2 hands.
They built the house?
Yeah, another fun fact. And then the town doctor comes over, and everyone's all excited to deliver twins, and all of a sudden, Jesse pops out, and he's not alive.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. And
they're probably freaking out.
Yeah, I think everyone probably did. And then they have to wait another 30 minutes until Elvis is born.
Wait a second. I have a question already. Don't twins like come out like 1 or 3 or 5 minutes apart? 30 minutes?
No, they can come out like 2 hours apart.
Holy shit. So they have a dead kid and then they got to wait 30 more minutes for Elvis to come out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about like a cluster.
Totally. You're bringing me down already.
Like, so, this is sad. Everyone was probably standing around wondering if the same thing was going to happen. Totally overwhelming. And
okay, I take back everything I just said. I feel bad. And we need to make this episode way more upbeat. So I have an idea. Why don't we make this episode a tribute to Jesse Garin Presley? Okay. Also, shout out to Dan Goggins and Associates for letting us use the studio. Am I right? Like, let's go, people. If you need your workers' comp claims, go to Dan because he does so much workers' comp stuff. Dan's better than Larry H. Parker, guys. Like, he has won people like millions and millions of dollars. So I'm just telling you, Dan Goggins and Associates, right here in good old sunny Brea, California. Get on it, people. I'm full of questions today.
All done with your PSA?
I have another one. Yeah, I am. Okay. I thought like Elvis was born in Memphis. Do they just say that because Tupelo doesn't really like give rock and roll vibes?
No.
What's going on?
He moved to Memphis when he was 13. So people just affiliate him with Memphis because that's where he grew up and his whole career started.
Aha.
Tupelo was nothing like Memphis. It was super religious and super poor. And actually, another fun fact. Elvis grew up singing gospel music in the church choir.
First of all, you're taking all the fun facts.
But I also do feel like everyone who's like a great singer started out as a gospel singer, like Katy Perry,
Really?
Carrie Underwood,
Holy crap. Okay, I'd love
Kelly Clarkson.
like gospel, like Southern Baptist gospel, or like where they're like clapping and it's like Aretha Franklin, or like
Like big
real
gospel music.
like gospel.
Yeah, real gospel music.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Okay, fine.
So anyways, he moves to Memphis when he's 13 because there was no work in Tupelo and they were pretty poor and needed to do something different to try to survive.
That makes sense.
So his pops gets a job in Memphis and the rest is kind of history. So fast forward to 1953, he turns 18 years old and Elvis just walks into some place called Sun Studio and records a couple of songs as a gift for his mom.
What a dude.
Yeah, what a stud, right?
That's what he's gonna do for a
Hopeless
present for.
romantic.
I love that. Right.
So good. And the owner of the record studio is just sitting there, and that guy was Sam Phillips. And he hears this, and he just knows right then and there that there was something different in Elvis's voice and style. And by the following year, Elvis cuts his first real single, That's All Right, Mama.
Of course, there was something different in his voice because he had the whole like Southern drawl thing going on that was all awesome. So, he just was like famous, like just like that. Like That's All Right, Mama gets recorded, and like out of nowhere, he's famous.
I mean, not that fast. At first, it was just in Memphis famous. Kind of like how everything happens.
He was Memphis famous.
Yeah.
What is Memphis famous? What does that even mean?
Like when you're like a hometown
you're
famous,
you're
right?
a hometown boy. Okay, I got you.
So he's hometown famous, and he starts gaining momentum by playing at local bars and clubs and other stuff.
Totally. Like how Motley Crue did in the LA area. Let's go.
Yeah, sure. Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Duh.
But his whole mix of like blues, gospel, and country was totally novel for this time, and it caught on super quick. And really, who are we getting? He was also easy on the eyes. That helped.
He was a good looking dude. I'm not going to lie.
Yep.
No shame in this. Uh-huh.
So it took another year or two after that. And then voila. Then he was super famous. And then he signed with RCA Records, released Heartbreak Hotel, and appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show. And he starts shaking his hips like they don't lie. Way before Shakira.
First of all, that's hysterical. I like the Shakira reference. Good work. Second, I mean, you got to love the invention of the TV, right? Because talk about right place, right time. This must have been legendary. He goes on national television and starts dancing like a stud, driving all these ladies crazy. I wish I was alive for that. People probably went nuts. But like, was it just that it was on TV and everyone was watching him dance and stuff? Or was it really like new moves that no one had ever done before? And that's why everybody was freaking out.
Okay, well, one, you got to remember, it was like the 1950s and America was pretty tightly wound. And we had rules and blah, 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 blah. So then Elvis shows up and starts shaking his hips that people didn't even know you could shake or should shake. And then he became super controversial for the time. Nowadays, it wouldn't be a big deal. I mean, we twerk and all. But back then,
there's some twerking.
It was crazy. It would sort of be like today if during the Super Bowl halftime show, someone would rip off all the clothes on national TVs. Como, Justin Timberlake.
Oh my God, right? But like for real, like no faking.
I mean, yeah. But like full frontal, maybe?
Oh, I'm in.
Could you imagine the shock?
I'd love it. But
Okay.
yeah, I hear you.
One more fun fact.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Okay, so his whole hip.
I'm going to have to rewrite, by the way, my fun facts. I'm going to have to go
That's
make
okay.
sure I have different.
They're just so good. We can repeat
fine.
them.
Go.
Okay, so his whole hip gyration thingy.
Yeah.
Did you know that's how he got the nickname Elvis the Pelvis?
Oh my God.
Did you even know he had the nickname Elvis
I did not.
the Pelvis?
I did not. I was researching. I did not research that. No.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. Elvis the Pelvis.
So to all teenagers, he was, of course, amazing and the new biggest heartthrob ever. But to parents, he was, air quotes, corrupting the youth and should be banned from television forever.
Okay.
No gyration of the hips.
Of course. Like, why? It's older generations. They suck. Like, okay, whatever.
I mean,
No.
sex and rock and roll. He started it.
Right. All the older generations were younger generations at one point, and I'm sure we're pissing off their parents. And then they grow up and get all lame and turn into people they don't want to become in the first place. Like, I'm never going to do that. And by the way, I call total bullshit on this. I mean, if you were a 40-year-old woman with a teenage daughter and you see Elvis pumping those hips on stage, you know you're secretly getting off on it in the bedroom and then pretending to your daughter that he's all corrupt, like you said. There is no way you weren't. At least your daughter was doing it in public, like with no shame. While you're in the bathroom doing, you know what, and not even telling your husband. Whatever. I'm over it.
Done with your soapbox.
It's bullshit. I don't even believe it. I believe every woman was doing the same thing, whether you're 40 or 18. So, okay, whatever. So kind of a question along the same line. I mean, how many women need to throw their underwear at you before you can actually be called king? I need to chat GPT this shit like right now.
Yeah, you probably should.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Okay. I have no idea on that. That just seems like a really odd question. Do you think it's going to work?
I don't know. I'm go.
Okay, well, you do that.
I'm clicking.
Okay, so
I'm looking.
Where were we? Oh, the title of the king. So speaking of the king, that name caught on pretty quickly because by the late 50s, so like 3 years after he got famous, it was already pretty set in stone. He was already selling records like crazy, but then he started starring in movies, and that totally sealed the deal. But then, just as everything was getting good, he totally gets drafted by the army and has to go off to Fort Hood, Texas for basic training. So thanks, Uncle Sam.
Dude, no way. I love that. Let's go. No favorites, man. You got to go do your duty just like everything else. They took that shit serious back then. I would have totally dodged. I'm such a dodger. Okay, wait, but back to the underwear thing. Check this out. Okay, I looked up ChatGPT. There's no precise count on how many women threw their panties at Elvis Presley, but the phenomenon of fans tossing undergarments at him is part of his legendary status as a cultural icon and heartthrob. Elvis inspired frenzied adoration from women during the height of his career from the 1950s to 1960s. Okay, hold on. I have one more. More than 10,000? Question mark. While there's no exact count, given Elvis Presley's immense popularity and the sheer number of concerts he performed, over 1,100 live shows during his career, it is possible that thousands of women threw panties, bras, and other items of clothing at him over the years. The figure 10,000 wouldn't be entirely out of the question if you consider his global fan base and the frenzy he inspired at each performance. Let's go. Okay, I love that. Where were we?
The draft.
Okay, I just want to know why he was called the king, but we're back to the draft. Go for it.
Okay, so at 23, he was drafted, had to go to the army, and now it's your turn because I went way past childhood and
Yeah, okay, good point.
You like this part.
He's already in his mid-20s and he's getting bras thrown at him. Okay. So after he finishes basic training, he gets shipped overseas and he spends 2 years stationed in Bad Nauheim, Germany. But that only made him more famous because now everyone felt sorry for him. Remember all those moms that I was just talking about who were like, oh yeah, he's vile. He shouldn't be shaking his hip like that. Well, now they're all like, oh, he's hot. He's chiseled. He's a war veteran. So now he's totally fair game.
Well, I'm probably legal now.
Right?
So, you know.
That too. Fun fact. Can I do a fun fact? While he was stationed in Germany, that's where he met his wife. That's where he met Priscilla Beaulieu, the woman that would later become his wife.
I mean, if we're talking about some rom-coms, that's some seriously good material right there.
They made a movie about it.
Which movie?
It wasn't a rom-com or anything. It was how they met. Priscilla made it. It came out like after he died. It was like in 1988. It was called Elvis and Me. And it's based on.
Okay, but it wasn't like a rom-com.
No,
like
not at all.
Biography.
No. It's it's not a documentary, but it's based on Priscilla's memoir of how she met Elvis. So like it's out there. It's just not rom-com. Yeah.
Okay, wait.
What?
When he came back from his tour of duty, did he just pick up where he left off, or what happened? I mean, if he was out of the music industry for a few years, it would kind of be hard to just like slide right back in, right?
I would think so, right? So
or maybe not. I mean, maybe people were waiting for it.
It sort of ended up like a mixed bag because you're like kind of right. It's kind of hard. So he starts making a ton of new movies instead and sort of let his music take a back seat, which in retrospect might not have been the best idea. Some of his movies were awesome, like instant classics, Blue Hawaii and Viva Las Vegas, both awesome.
Did he sing in all of his movies?
Of course. But he made other ones that really sucked, like one called Kissin' Cousins, I guess, or like Harem Scarum. I didn't see these or anything. I just read reviews that they totally sucked, so trust me. So I guess his agent was a little lame about all this. When I was researching everything, it kept coming up. I guess he was known for being like a bully and making Elvis take some really shitty roles to like keep money flowing in rather than like picking really good scripts. And it only takes a few of those. And then after a few years, critics start talking shit, calling him irrelevant, and things start going south.
I mean, I can only imagine. It's a tough world out there.
Yeah. But like my man Elvis, he ain't going down without a fight, right? Because, I mean, who are we kidding? He's the king. He's got all those bras and underwear souvenirs hiding in the closet somewhere. So in December of 1968, he goes on national TV and does something called the Comeback Special. Did you ever hear this?
Yes, but only when I was researching, not like before that or anything, because, you know, I am a youngin'.
Yeah, that's true. You totally are. Okay, but this was perfect. I mean, he goes out on stage, dressed head to toe in that totally iconic black leather suit, and it takes like the world 30 seconds to fall in love with him again. Total legend. It was a big deal. Like a big deal. It was his first real performance of any kind since before he went to war. Like 7 years or something, Amanda. Like a
Was
long
he
time.
fat by then?
No, not even
Oh.
close. No. He looked totally awesome. It was ridiculous. It's just that he was making all those shitty movies, so like everybody was sort of forgetting about him. And then he goes back on stage, looks like a stud in this black leather suit, and it's like, bam, he was amazing at it again. Some more fun facts. I can't believe this. Are you ready I'm going to do some quick fun facts about this television special. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. For one, it was supposed to be just a Christmas special where he was going to sing all these holiday songs, but then his producer convinced him that it'd be totally lame. And he pivoted right before it started, and he went all rock and roll, which I think was totally cool and the right thing to do. Also, it got massive ratings. Like half the United States was watching because he did this whole section like unplugged where he stripped down the songs and talked to the live audience and everything. It was awesome. And last fun fact about the TV special. It ended with a new song called If I Can Dream, a song inspired by the assassinations of Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy earlier that same year. He recorded it live right there on that set in one take. Totally amazing. It went on to become an anthem of hope for all those fighting for social justice.
I mean, talk about a good comeback story.
Totally was.
Like,
Absolutely.
That's just like top of the top. So was that the whole thing that started his whole Vegas years, or was there something else in between? Or how did he get to Vegas?
That was it. Yeah, he totally went to Vegas like right after that. By the early 1970s, Elvis was like ruling Las Vegas. But it was hard AF because like that shitty agent was basically working him to death and making him do like way
So
shows.
why didn't he drop him then?
Yeah, so I had to look that one up too. So he was just like, I guess, a really loyal dude. Like, what do you want me to say? He just met him when he was really young and he didn't ever feel comfortable leaving him, even though he didn't like really agree with him all the time. And yes, our 80th fun fact, after Elvis died, they found out that his agent was actually making, Amanda, ready for this? 50% on everything Elvis was doing.
That's insane.
No, it gets
Like,
worse. Yeah.
50%.
50% of all his money. Yes, it's crazy. Okay, it gets worse. Because his schedule in Las Vegas was so friggin' demanding, he ended up screwing up his entire personal life too. Like it totally unraveled. Him and Priscilla got divorced in 1973. And then he started getting addicted to all his prescription painkillers and had a whole bunch of other health issues from there. And he was only like 40 years old.
It's so sad because he was so young and just had so much more potential.
Oh my God, totally. His last live performance was in June of 1977 at the Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, just 7 weeks before he died from officially what has been called a heart attack on August 16th, 1977. He died at his home in Graceland, and he was only 42 years old. It totally shocked the world.
Yeah, but wait, hold on. Wasn't it really more than a heart attack? Or like better, I guess, way to ask. Did his lifestyle lead to the heart attack?
Totally, yes. He was addicted to his painkillers. He drank a ton, so he had like liver damage already. He had a shitty diet, high blood pressure, diabetes, and an enlarged heart. Like his cardiovascular system was destroyed, and then he like ultimately died of a heart attack. I mean, it was like hardcore lifestyle.
But then after he died, he became even more famous, right?
Oh my God, totally. Graceland turned into this like huge pilgrimage site for all his fans. And then all the Elvis impersonators started and became their own cultural phenomenon, like in their own right. And to this day, he's still one of the best-selling solo artists of all time. Dude, we got to go to Graceland. Book our tickets to Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee.
It is.
Oh,
Graceland,
didn't know
Tennessee. Let's go.
Tennessee has the best stuff. It also has Dollywood.
It does. Let's go.
Okay, I have one more question.
What?
So, what was with the white bedazzled jumpsuits? Like, how did that become a whole thing? You said we were going to talk about stylists. I haven't heard about
Oh
stylists
my God.
yet.
How did we just like do this podcast episode and not talk about the sparkly jumpsuits? Good catch. So they were designed by some guy named Bill Bellew, Elvis's costume designer, right? That's what we were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was that he wanted Elvis to stand out in the giant arenas in Vegas. So we used white for contrast and then a bunch of rhinestones for reflecting the stage lights. So that way he would look amazing. Wait.
Yeah.
What was our word of the day? What was our word of the day? Fulgent? Does that work? They used rhinestones so he could look full.
I think it does.
Fulgent.
I think it does. It's
Okay.
something really bright or dazzling.
Okay, we nailed it.
Accepted.
Fulgent. Thank you very much. Okay. And this fulgent jumpsuit was also really important for like practical reasons too. Check this. It was specifically designed so he could move around on stage easier and do all his famous moves and stuff, like his hip gyrations and karate moves. And in like 10 seconds, it became his signature suit. And it fit in perfectly with the whole glitzy Las Vegas vibe during that era. So love him or hate him, the jumpsuit was iconic for sure.
I mean, who could really hate him? Everyone loved him. Nobody could hate him.
You can't hate him.
No. But you totally can't hate him because who else in the world could pull something like that off besides, Michael Jackson?
Right? Maybe Michael.
Again, another
Nobody
big
else.
icon, though.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else.
All right. Are we going to do fun facts or do we already do all of our fun facts?
Oh my God. So we're going to do fun facts, but I got to look through my fun facts first and make sure like we didn't steal all the fun facts.
Okay.
I think we're okay. We'll just, as we go, we'll just skip if like we already said one. Okay?
Okay.
All right, ready. Did you know Elvis had his own private island?
Of course he did.
What?
How did he get his own?
Oh my God.
island?
Okay. It wasn't really his private island, but they call it a private island. It was in Palm Springs, California, and was
What?
officially called Graceland West. Yes, you could totally go visit it if you want. It's nothing like Graceland, but it's still cool if you're an Elvis fan and live on the West Coast. Yes. Let's go.
Why was it an island?
I don't know. I don't know why they said like Palm Springs. Maybe like that was like the style back. I have no idea. Okay. Another fun fact. Elvis didn't perform at his own wedding. Like, not that he had to, but I'm just saying like you would think that would be something cool he would do. Actually, nobody did. In exact opposite Elvis fashion, his wedding to Priscilla lasted a total of 8 minutes and was like super low key.
Huh.
Right? I don't know. Why do you do that? Like, why wouldn't he want to go big? He didn't. He just like, where he probably got married? One of those little wedding chapels in Los. Oh my God, I'm funny. Okay. All right, number 3. Elvis was known to give out gold records to his friends because, I guess if you can flex like that, why wouldn't you do that? He even gave one out to then President Richard Nixon in 1970, who kept it in the White House library before it moved to its final resting place in good old Yorba Linda, California, at the Richard Nixon Library and Museum.
Man, I wish I knew that one. We were just there.
Let's go.
And I would have totally geeked out over that.
You absolutely.
Darn fun fact missed.
Totally.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, it was probably sitting in like all the file rooms during the Watergate scandal, and Nixon had to like pull it out and like get it over to the Nixon Library. Fun fact 4, did you know Elvis was a 7th degree black belt in karate?
I mean, that kind of helps the whole kicking and
Right.
I don't know.
That's why
it
the
always
white...
seemed really random, but that now it tracks.
That's the white jumpsuit, man. That's why he was doing all that weird stuff. So he started studying it while he was in the army in Germany in 1958 and got all the way up to 7th degree black belt before he left.
It's crazy.
Totally.
It's crazy.
Okay, how about this one? Did you know Elvis was a natural blonde?
No way.
Totally. Okay. As a young boy, Elvis Presley was naturally a dirty blonde. However, as he grew older,
okay.
his hair darkened, but bear with me, to medium brown. And when his career started, he began dyeing his hair black to enhance his image. The idea was that the black hair complemented his striking blue eyes and created a more dramatic and iconic look that stood out on stage and films. He initially used shoe polish to darken his hair before switching to like professional dyes when he got older. Yeah.
All right. The more you know.
So dirty blonde, brown, and then he was like, no, I'm going to pretend it's all black. But that does make sense because black hair, blue eyes.
It does.
What's her name?
True.
Alexandra Daddario.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm in love. Okay. Number 6. Elvis's jumpsuits. Oh, here we go. Back your fun fact. Elvis's jumpsuits.
It wasn't a
Whatever.
fun fact.
You asked
I
me
was
if
just
it was
asking if it was fat.
Yes, here we go. Elvis's jumpsuits gained 50 pounds during his run. That's like 3 to 4 sizes. That's like from like a large fan into like a triple extra large. Shout out to like Bill Ballou for like keeping up with all those changing sizes.
Poor guy.
Just
it was all the stress.
Bigger and bigger. I know, totally. Okay. Okay, last one. Finally, you never catch Elvis dead in a pair of shorts.
But why?
He didn't like the way his legs looked. He always thought they were like too skinny for his body.
Because he was looking like a chicken.
Maybe because he got so fat. I don't know, but that's super weird. Like, the king of rock and roll never wore shorts.
I mean, he probably looked like Gru.
Oh my God. That's
Yeah, like little chicken legs.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. Okay, that was good. That was a good one.
Is that all of our fun facts?
Yeah, totally. Elvis was easy.
Okay. I mean, they were fun. They were good. And they were all new. So good job. But
because I took out all the other ones that you stole.
Well,
you know.
Those were also good.
Before we wrap up, don't we have to like sing like don't we have to like impersonate Elvis?
I mean, I think you've been doing that all episode.
We can't go on together with suspicious mind. No?
Are you quite done?
Can you do one?
No.
Do you even know an Elvis song?
No.
How are you doing an episode on Elvis and not be cultured and curious to know Elvis
I mean,
songs?
I'm sure I know it. Like, I just can't pick one out of the
Can
air.
you please go home and listen to Elvis?
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
know
very
who he is, and
Oh.
I've listened to his music.
Okay.
Unlike you, I just can't just randomly pick
Recall?
up yeah.
Okay.
No. My recall is very low.
Can you wrap this shit up, please?
Well, you're gonna wrap it up. What are our takeaways for today? And what do we need to remember to be all smart and stuff?
Yeah. Okay. Well, number one, if you haven't visited Tennessee yet, let's go to Graceland, people. Make sure it's on the list. It's a must-see for every Elvis fan, and it's totally packed with all his amazing history. Or like I said, go to Graceland West out in Palm Springs and enjoy some sunshine. No excuses. If you haven't already, much like my co-host Amandita, check out some of his classic movies. I would start with Blue Hawaii. Like that's like the most famous, best one ever.
Iconic.
Totally iconic. Absolutely. Third, next time you're listening to some more of his famous songs, mix it up a bit and check out some of his lesser known albums. There's a whole treasure trove of Elvis music that's just waiting to be rediscovered.
How many albums did he have?
Oh my God. He had like 50. He had like a ton of albums.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
Do you know how many movies he made?
No.
He made 40 movies.
Dang.
And he had over 50 albums, dude. This guy's not messing around. And one of my
and
favorite...
he died at 42. He
died
was
yeah,
real
well, because he started...
And he went
like,
to the army.
He was like 20 years... Yeah.
But that's
see?
so crazy.
So much life. And
wow. What'd you do, Peter?
And here we are.
What'd you do?
Look at us.
Oh, man.
It's terrible. Can I please tell you one of my favorite, like secret album? It's not really a secret album, but like lesser known album.
What?
Elvis Country. I'm 10,000 years old. Get on it, people. If you're like a super Elvis fan, you'll already know this. But like if you're not, and you just know like some of his main songs, go listen to Elvis Country. I'm 10,000 years old.
Okay.
It's classic. Okay. Finally, remember these few important details to seem sort of sophisticated. Number one, Elvis was a trailblazer in both music and culture. His fusion of country, blues, and gospel helped create rock and roll as a mainstream genre. His 1956 hit, Heartbreak Hotel, launched him into national stardom, and his charismatic performances broke racial and cultural barriers during a transformative time in America in the 1950s. Number two, Elvis didn't write any of his own songs that made him famous, but his ability to interpret and perform them with emotion and charisma set him apart. He turned songs like Hound Dog and Jailhouse Rock into massive hits, thanks to his iconic style. Dancing to the Jailhouse Rock. Okay, number three. In 1958, at the height of his fame, Elvis was drafted into the U.S. Army and served in Germany. This period marked a shift in his career, and it was during this time that he met his future wife, Priscilla. Number four. After years of focusing on movies with mixed success, Elvis reestablished his dominance in music with his televised 1968 comeback special, where he performed in his now iconic black leather suit and reconnected with his live audience. And finally, Elvis's home, Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee, is now a National Historical Landmark and one of the most visited private homes in the United States. It's also where Elvis is buried alongside his parents and daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, cementing it as a pilgrimage site for fans. Lisa Marie just died in, I want to say January of 2023, like really recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was when the movie came out. All right. And there you have it, fellow listeners. The story of Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. The next time you hear someone singing Jailhouse Rock or see a rhinestone jumpsuit that's way too much, you'll know there's a whole legacy behind the swagger and sound.
Yes, you will. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. Why do you look at me like that with such disdain? It's a lot. You know, all you have to do is smile and just be like, you know what, Pete? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt your summary. Continue.
Well then, Elvis isn't just a music icon, people. He's a symbol of an era, a trailblazer who reshaped the sound of popular music and left an indelible mark on American culture. From his groundbreaking Sun Records sessions to his unforgettable Aloha from Hawaii concert, his story is pure rhythm, rebellion, and re-innovation.
Oh, yes, it is.
So if we've done our job right today, you're leaving a little more sophisticated, sorta, and ready to slip a fun fact about the king into your next conversation, or at least just belt out Hound Dog, like Pete does, every 2 seconds, with a little more respect behind it.
Yes, amen. Respect.
So, if you enjoyed this episode, be a hunk of burning love and subscribe, leave a review, and share it with anyone who loves music, pop culture, or a good story. So until next time, keep rocking, and remember, Elvis has definitely not left the building.
Oh my God, how did we just talk about a whole Elvis episode and not include Lilo and Stitch? Like that whole soundtrack was Elvis. Like,
I mean, I'm today years old to realize
Stitch loved Elvis.
That's
and
funny.
He was like doing his like impersonations.
That's true.
The Elvis costume and everything.
That's so true.
Oh my God, we love you, Elvis. Look at you. You're in pop
See,
culture
he just
everywhere.
he just pops in.
Elvis out.